Lately, we've seen several large food companies starting to make their products with more natural ingredients, and I'm real happy to see that.
Yeah.
You're starting to see that more and more. Even some fast food companies are starting to
Even
say,
what you got, macaroni and cheese, Kraft macaroni and cheese,
yeah,
no preservatives or colors
yeah,
now.
they're taking the chemicals out of it, and that's a good
and you
thing.
wonder why.
Why did we need that in the first
Why
place?
did we need that in the first place?
Right.
Exactly.
So the reason they're starting to do that, though, is pure profit based. In other words, it's like everything else, it's market driven. People are starting to buy alternatives like organics, and so since more and more people are starting to buy non-chemical foods, then the big food companies are going to have to change.
Losing share.
Yeah, so it's driven by the dollar, but I still think that that's mostly a lot of marketing and promotion. A lot of the food still is loaded with some unhealthy ingredients, and I have an additive today that I wanted to talk about that we all have probably eaten almost every day, and we definitely should not be. It really shouldn't even be in our food supply, but I bet everyone listening has seen this ingredient several times and has never even thought twice about it. And the ingredient is cottonseed oil.
Yeah.
You see that in everything.
Yeah.
It's been added to our food for decades, and it's in a lot of processed food like chips, cookies, cakes, peanut butter, baked goods. It's very, very cheap. That's why they put it in everything. But the reason that it's bad, I mean, first of all, cotton is not a food. It's a textile. So it's made for making T-shirts, not cupcakes. And cottonseed oil is a waste byproduct of cotton farming and the textile industry. That's why it's so cheap, is because it's a byproduct of the cotton industry. But it's been added to foods for decades, and it is the cheapest edible oil you can produce. That's why they use it in everything.
Okay.
And I'm guessing they can still call it natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the word edible and cottonseed oil, I just used in the same sentence. I'm not sure that it should be. But it's been added to so many processed foods since we were very young. As a matter of fact, you know the old Crisco that Mom used to use?
Yeah.
Remember back in the day?
Yes.
That stands for crystallized cottonseed oil, Crisco. So what they did was they took cottonseed oil and they hydrogenated it with chemicals to crystallize it. And what happened, Procter & Gamble was looking for ways to make new waxes like floor waxes and candle waxes. And they used crystallized cottonseed oil, and somebody, I don't know how, but figured out you could cook with it. So they promoted it as a new healthy alternative to animal products, just like margarine, and that's what Crisco was. But cottonseed oil has been around for a long time, but the problem with it is that cotton is known as the world's dirtiest crop. It's not only is it genetically modified to produce its own pesticide, the plant actually makes its own pesticide chemical, but it's sprayed more than any other crop out there. And many of the chemicals they use on cotton are highly toxic because it's not a food. You know, what they spray on soybeans is a little closely regulated. What they put on cotton is not a food, so they don't really have to monitor it quite as closely. And then not only that, but to further extract the cottonseed oil from the cotton waste product, they use hexane, bleach, and chemical deodorizers. So, you know, this is something that you could be having a negative reaction to. So what happens, you or your children could be having allergic, or not really allergic, but negative reactions to this if they're eating this on a very regular basis. So what we're going to do after the break, I'm going to tell you what to watch for to see if you or your child may be having a negative reaction to some of these cottonseed oils. But here's the thing. If their body is not able to process it well, it could even affect their brain function and their concentration and their activity levels. You know, some of these like attention problems they're having and concentration problems and learning problems could be caused from some of these sort of either byproducts of the cottonseed oil or the cottonseed oil itself. So I'm going to go through all that after the break. It's going to be super, super interesting.